Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And it is indeed a brand new day. I've even been outside. I walked to the community center so that the case manager and the project lead, project manager, whatever the guy that's ultimately in charge of the place here, so that they would say I was alive and not just in here dead and rotting. So, thumbs up for that. Had a little talk with the guy, so that was a good thing. Yay! They're all very approachable, so that's a good thing. I often stop by just to say hi. Thumbs up. I do have some stuff written down, and they are like paragraphs. So first I'm going to do this one, because I wrote down actual thoughts and feelings, which I normally just write like a few words. So instead of going to that, oh, itchy nose. I'm going to start with this. I also, this month, added some new family members to my plushies, my plushie collection, my Squishmallow collection. I have the old ones, of course, that I had originally purchased, one of which is the breakfast toast. So this is very soft. It's a good breakfast toast. And I also bought a thing of fries, also very, very soft. Next in the family was Ernesto. I don't know what Ernesto is, but very soft and squishy, of course. Then I added two new ones when it was Valentine, not whatever time it was getting close to, a nice little squishy bear and a raccoon. By this point, I have 5 Squishmallows. So last night, I got an axolotl with bunny ears, and it's, aside from like these parts that are shiny, they're not soft, but you know, that's a nice, cute little thing. And a cow with a tail. So I've got all these that I don't always place things well on my bed. Sometimes I just dump everything on there and then the stuff's just all spread out. But yeah, I am 62 years old and I put my plushie collection on my bed up near my pillow. Thumbs up for that. What else do I have up here? A fair amount of stuff. Well, part of it connects with, but I'm going to come back to that. I wanted to talk about this because it was a surprise. I was gifted the game Medieval Dynasty some time back, and I have played it off and on, but it's been a while since I've played it. I had played a fair amount of time, but I came back to it after some point. One of the quests that was just long before is you start off in this village and you have to go all the way over to this village and you have to talk to a guy there, and then you have to come out and you have to talk to another guy, or at least try to find him, and then you discover that he's injured, then you have to go back this way, then you have to run all over this direction. It is a long quest, and it was largely just fetch quest with no danger, nothing. So imagine my surprise when I'm running along to get there and suddenly I'm being chased by wolves. And then not only am I being chased by wolves, I've got bandits that are after me. And then I die from the wolves. I was like, what? Because that hadn't happened before. Bit of a shocker, let me tell you. So, I did two things. For the next run, because I loaded the autosave, I fashioned myself a spear for just in case, and then I started rationing my stamina, making sure that when I got chased by wolves, I could run long enough to run them into the bandits, and then once the bandits and the wolves were fighting, keep going to get to the village, and then I just had to make sure I was at full stamina when I got close to the bandits so I could run past them, and they'd chase and shoot arrows, and I made it through all of it, but it was a little bit of oof, oof, da while trying to get through it. So I'm glad that they've done stuff like that. On the other hand, it's already a difficult game where, I mean, difficult for my brain. I mean, it's time management again, but it's also got, while you're trying to make up a dynasty, you're also an individual person. And so you've got to do the dynasty stuff, then try to get everything set up while you're also trying to keep yourself alive and do a main storyline. That ain't easy. Hokey smokes. My lips are so dry, I have to get a bit of tissue here. My sincere apologies. You got to see the grossness. Ah. But it is a fun game. And because of my ADHD, I have been going back to it and playing. I had to go back and start up a bunch of stuff, and then I got into Grim Dawn, and I went, I have no ideas where I'm supposed to go for this quest I have. And it's one of the main parts of the quest, and I have no ideas what to do. Which means I'm likely about this far away from having to restart in Grim Dawn. Because it's been a few weeks since I had played. Having ADHD/ADD, because I have the attention deficit disorder part, my sister has the actual physical part of it. The ADHD part, attention deficit hyperactive disorder part, where she can't sit down. She's antsy and has to be up and doing stuff. So, thumbs up. What else might I have on my list? This is just a quick thing because it was a shocker. Thank you for watching if you have. You are a beautiful and wonderful person if you are watching. And hey, in an attempt to break this up, call to action if you could like, comment, share, subscribe. That would be very cool, greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. I had gotten up and I was walking over to my window to close it. Now I have danger in my body while I'm laying down. Once I become horizontal, the muscle in my right thigh especially is in danger of just cramping up. And if that goes, all the muscles from way up in my hip joint all the way down to my toe cramp up. Well, I'm sitting here and I get up and start standing and that muscle goes, eep. And I was like, whoa, oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I am vertical. You don't do that when I'm vertical. It's kind of like when I really had to deal with restless leg syndrome. I was having restless leg syndrome symptoms when I was laying down, which is standard. You know, you get those feelings, you have to move or you get up. And then I was having them when I was sitting down, and then I was having them when I was standing. Those are really the only three positions that you could be in. I couldn't make the feeling stop. Thank God I had various medications, and then I guess during the medications helping them go away, they went away for real. Thank goodness I've stopped the medication, because one of them was methadone. And you don't want to be on an opiate just to get rid of your restless leg syndrome. Thank goodness it continued after I got off that. Oh boy, talk about being dope sick. Don't become dependent. I wasn't addicted because there is a mental component to addiction, but I was dependent upon it for pain control. And then trying to get off of it, yeah, I got dope sick a couple of times trying to do that. It was a terrible, terrible time. Thumbs up. What else do I have on here? Oh, and I might as well, if I'm going to break it up, hey, if you are a Patreon patron, you are beautiful, awesome, and wonderful. Because of you, well, you bring me from here on the monetary scale to here. And while that's not an incredible leap, you know, I'm not driving around in limousines, it helps me eat at the end of the month. So thank you so very, very much. It is appreciated. Then I have mentioned before that I am basically a child. I do not mean that in an immature, I act childish way. No, I am a mature adult human man. I pay my bills. I do my best to try and keep things done to the best of my ability. But, as mentioned, I don't feel 62 years old inside of my head. Even though I feel all the physical stuff and I am with all the mental stuff, I still feel like I'm 18 up inside here, running through the filter of the body and all the other issues. When you get older and you don't have a lot of responsibilities, though, you've sort of entered into the magpie portion of your life, and that's where you are looking at neat rocks and collecting cool and shiny things to entertain yourself until the final curtain. But over there, I am still in my, well, not still, I have largely strongly entered into the magpie portion of life and leaning into that, because the magpie portions of my life bring me great pleasure. And this will tie into another thing I've got up there I want to talk about, because these things are nice. These things are good, and I enjoy soft and fluffy stuff and being more childlike, not childish, where you get petulant and you rule by grievance. No, I mean childlike, enjoying things that are soft and fluffy and look nice. And it doesn't hurt, and in fact it helps by making me feel better. So why not? But as stated, ties into this. I hate current events as something that impinges on what I want to talk about and such. I don't want to talk about current events. I want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. And hey, if you've left me any comments, that is definitely a thumbs up. Thank you so very much. You too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. Greatly, greatly appreciated. But yeah, I don't want to deal with current events. I don't want to have to talk about current events. But it's kind of like Philip DeFranco has a shirt, because they make a lot of merch on, because of stuff he says. I'm not going to use the exact language because I don't want to get demonetized because of swearing and all, but it's paraphrased as well. You may not mess with politics, but politics will mess with you. So whether or not you want to talk about current political events and such, they're going to affect you whether you talk about them or not. But the problem is I don't want to talk about them, especially since I have no power in this world. Beyond casting the occasional vote, I have no power. So hearing about all this awful stuff does nothing but bring me anxiety. And talking about it isn't going to do anything at all. So I don't want to talk about the things that are happening. I don't want to talk about current events. And I know I could just simply not talk about them, but I want to talk about why I'm not talking about them, because why you're not talking about something can be just as important as the thing that would be talked about. The reasons why. And it is just, current events right now are so draining. There is so much uncertainty in the United States, as I've mentioned, because of the wishes of basically one man. The entirety of the United States they are attempting to rewrite it, and with the firings that are going on where they're not paying attention to important stuff, it's going to affect me whether I like it or not. But talking about it will do nothing. Life is fun and frustrating, isn't it? It's good to be an organic carbon-based being. Okay, one of the last things I've gotten up here. Well, the last thing I wanted to say on the previous thing is, if plans go ahead and they get rid of the VA and disability and all that, if there is no help for me through these means, I will die. I have apnea. 80% of the time, it affects me while I'm sleeping. It is a huge strain on your heart and your brain if you just stop breathing. Now, I do not have obstructive apnea. I have central apnea. My brain just literally forgets to tell my lungs to breathe. And it happens during the daytime, and I have to manually breathe during those times for anything up to a minute, but then it stops and I start breathing. But when you're sleeping, you just stop breathing for up to a minute, and that is a horrible strain. You are increasing your odds incredibly of heart attack or stroke. You can't plug a sleep apnea machine into a tree or a sidewalk. So, yesterday after therapy, I was head empty, no thoughts, just static. There are days when I am happy and bouncy, and there are days when it's just kind of shut down while things just decompress. And that was the day. I wanted to do some Disco Elysium. I have not stopped. I am doing that today. Probably, it is 11:51 now, so probably around 1 o'clock my time, PM, of course, I will start recording Disco Elysium. So definitely a thumbs up. I'm going to be doing more reading of the choices that I make. I have a terrible habit of not doing that, or just when I do, I will read every other word. I am a very, very fast reader. And I tend to just leap over those steps because it slows down, and the ADD tells me, no, pedal to the metal. So I'm going to be slowing down, doing more reading. I'm going to continue my reacting because I play it like I'm that guy who's got terrible hangover, being presented with choices and having to try and think them through. Because I've been that guy. So thumbs up on that. Checking my time on here, I am at 17 minutes and change. I really don't have a whole lot else I want to talk about. I, of course, do want to talk about my solo RPG stuff. Yes, of course. I have, in fact, once again been thinking of the whole... In fact, I had spent some time, a couple of years now ago, talking about a place called Undermarb, which is now part of a layer in the Razor's Edge. But it is like the multiverse written small, but because it is a connection of systems that through their interactions have emergent properties that occur. But Undermarb is a series of, there's the town of Marbden, and Undermarb is they discover that there are a series of cavernous rooms underneath the town. But Undermarb itself, the people don't know this, but I had to figure it out for myself. Undermarb, being that collection of emergent properties, it rewards exploration. The more you explore, the more you find. And it doesn't just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. There's an escalation because there is constant enrichment. If you want to learn something, you will find things that help you learn. Now, it's not instant. It is usually generational. So things move up in generations. You may find only one thing that helps your learning, but that's a really good thing. and that stays around, and somebody else who's interested finds something else to continue their learning until you're able to learn without that stuff, but you still find it because constant enrichment. You eventually discover that you don't need the upper world when you're in Undermarb. You don't need it to grow crops and stuff. You've been able to discover through just advancement of knowledge how to build bulbs that emit full spectrum light. You can grow crops with it. It works to provide you with everything you need through natural sunlight. You don't need to grow crops up above. And because of constant enrichment and rewarding of exploration, you find plenty of places to grow crops and have pastures and have animals. Eventually, you don't need the upper world. Eventually, you move so far and you learn so much, you don't really need anything physical. And eventually, you've passed so far beyond the realm of what everyone knows, you're not effectively there anymore. That takes a very long time. Because Undermarb first starts off when you learn and start exploring as a small place. Eventually, the deeper you go, you find branches and arteries. And the arteries can be hundreds of kilometers side to side and tens of thousands of kilometers long with branches that go off from them. And Undermarb being Undermarb, none of it overlaps. As long as it's far enough away, it inhabits its own area that it is going into. So you can have one branch here, both of them going out infinitely, and they never impact each other. Lots more on Undermarb later. Oh, which part of it have I left out since I tried today to break this up? I think it's just I'm going to edit, render, upload. I've got to call and try and make an appointment to get my stress test done. So I still have that to do, and I'm going to try and get that done. Hopefully you are going to get done the things that you need to get done. That would be very, very cool. A definite good thing. But please do not beat yourself up if you do not get it done. It will not help you get it done better next time, and you deserve better, quite frankly. I'm trying to keep my head from being way up there. I'm trying to be more centered, but that doesn't always work. So definitely a thumbs up. And I'm just going to try my best to do Disco Elysium. That's a given. I'm going to try some other things, but if not, I am definitely going to take care of myself by going walking. I need to increase my physical activity so much. Yes, I have gained a lot more weight that I don't like. Luckily, though, I still passed the pencil test, so that's a good thing. So, until we meet again. Oh, well, I did forget this. If you have watched this far and you like the Squishmallows, if you could write fries in the comments just to let the YouTube algorithm and me know that people actually watch the videos through this far. You, of course, don't have to, and very, very few people do. But anybody that does, thank you so very much. It is appreciated a very, very great degree. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very good thing. Hopefully my breaking up the normal thing that I do at the end and putting it through the entire thing isn't a horrible, horrible idea. Let me know in the comments if it sucks or if it's okay. That would be cool. And you take care. Have a very good day. Like I already said, and I'm now repeating. I should probably just I should probably speak English and press the stop recording button.